I've been told these Adirondack chairs are an East Coast design.
You love the East Coast. You know it.
You can never have enough firewood around here, can you? The East Coast man may not know much, but he does know how to make a pretty darn good chair. I'll give you that. All right, so we have an important announcement. You want to make the announcement?
East Coast man is the father of your wife.
There is that. Well, I do make exception for Vinny. I've actually made him an official West Coast man. I've only done that one other time. I think it was a man from Vermont. How about our announcement?
We have a pending sale on both of our properties, so we are very excited about that.
So to catch you up, we decided to split our property into two pieces. We sold the property alone with the big barn down below some weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then after, how many showings did we have?
Over 30 showings.
Over 30 showings in 3 weeks.
Which is exhausting when you have a 2-year-old who's like a wrecking ball.
I've never cleaned so much house and vacuumed in my life, and then you have to leave. But we're sad and excited. We have put, almost a decade of our life into this place. We've raised our children here. We have
Worked hard.
We've worked hard. One thing that makes it easier is that the couple that is buying our home they're not too far from this area.
Right.
Sent us a wonderful letter and actually happened to be subscribers to the channel, which was really fun.
Hi.
And the thing I think that has helped us make this transition and to let go is the fact that they want to continue on what we've done, and they have understood how much this place has meant to us, and that it's not just going to someone that we don't know, it's going to someone that shares our values in many ways according to the letter. So we're super happy about that.
Yes. Yeah, because we love this place. We've had so many wonderful memories. We've put so much work in, and we will miss it.
It's funny how you take things for granted when you're around them all the time, and you get caught up in life. And now that we're actually looking at we only have just a few more weeks here, you start to see things differently, and it's like, now I'm seeing things. I'm like really starting to see how beautiful and how special this place is, and yeah, it is. It's a little sad. Yeah. It is a little sad. I wanted to also talk a little bit about there's also people that are going to be coming to this video that don't even know that the house was for sale. So I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of some of the reasons why we decided to sell. I have my reasons. You have your reasons, and we also share many.
Right.
What are some of the things that kind of got you moving in that direction when we first started talking about it?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we had decided was that the house just isn't big enough for the channel. So we have an at-home business with the channel, and when we are trying to videotape, our rooms are fairly small. And so when we're trying to, if you see us in our living room, we have literally moved half of the furniture out, moved the lights in. It's a project to video in this house. It's just not quite big enough. And it gets old when you're doing that for years and years and years. And then also our outbuildings, we can't keep our camera equipment in there. So if Cody's videoing out in the shop, he has to carry everything back inside. So it's a lot of work to make videos where we are currently located. So we actually hired an architect who even drew up plans for us, beautiful plans.
On this land.
On this land, so we could stay, because we do love it here. And we couldn't make it pencil out financially. It didn't make sense. And at the same time, we said, well, let's look around and see what else is in the area. So we are staying in the area. And we found something that checked off all of our boxes. And so we thought, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's true. And it's always been kind of one thing the direction I wanted to take the channel in is I wanted to do more stuff involved with you. You guys don't often see Mrs. W, but I'll tell you, she does probably 60% of the work of the channel, behind the scenes, what you guys don't see. That means taking care of me, supporting me in ways so that I can make content, and she picks up a lot of that slack. And what I've wanted to do is definitely to get you in more of the videos. The new place that we're moving to is going to give us a little bit more space. We're going to have the ability to do, when we want to do canning and stuff inside the house, we'll be able to have the area where we can put up dedicated lights and stuff. It's going to make it so much easier and for what we need to do. That's a big portion of it, is we really are kind of busting out at the seams here.
Yeah, and It's going to be. I think the other thing too is that we will be able to host more. And part of what we want to do is have this community of people, because when we get together with subscribers, it's really fun. It's very inspiring. It reminds us why we have the channel. And we want to do more of that. And this location will let us do that as well.
Yeah, and we could have continued to make the place work. I mean, of course, it's not that big a deal moving stuff around, but we really want to move into that next direction. And one of the things that we wanted to do desperately is having a place where people can come and visit, where we can share knowledge. I know I keep beating this like a dead horse, but it takes time to put these things together. We can't legally do it here. So the new place that we're moving to, as I said, we'll have our home property, which is I'm excited to share. I can't say anything yet. But we also bought a small, modest place, a commercial place where we can build, whether it be a community center or maybe a dual-use type of a building, something that Mrs. W can use for homeschooling, because we have the Sweet Loaves too. You have a lot of homeschooling ahead of you, 15 years.
Yeah, we were counting, and if she graduates from homeschool when she's 18, I will have homeschooled for 25 years. 25 years.
And one thing that's kind of sad with this place for Mrs. W is, I've got these awesome shops, and I've got a dedicated wood shop and the fabricating shop and all this. Mrs. W, you should see her office. Well, you probably saw it. It's so tiny. It's a little closet, and she makes the whole thing happen. So the new place is going to it's going to be a little more fair.
My office, though, will be room for both of the kids to be able to be in there, and they can homeschool while I'm doing paperwork for the business and all those kind of things.
Yeah. And also, I guess probably even more important than extra space for us, I don't know that we've talked about this a lot, is the importance of community. Having, especially with Jack being older, and we're pretty isolated out here, and it's hard for him to have friends, and he likes to be involved in sports and stuff, and so a lot of driving. So a lot of those things, we didn't really think about when we had little kids. Not to mention us as well, and the way things are changing in our country, and with as difficult as things are getting, there's a lot of folks that are going to be unemployed, and there's so much uncertainty. We're more comfortable to be in a place where we can be around like-minded people. We might even have, we're even trying to encourage my folks to look at maybe moving where they're at closer to us, so that we can have more help, a little more help, and in a place where we have access to resources and food, and not just be completely isolated. That's important too.
Although we have one really sad thing about moving from here.
The real Martian.
The real Martian and his wonderful wife.
Yes.
We're going to miss them so much.
Yeah, as I've said in the last video, we spend a lot of time with Jeff and Alicia, and the last time we were over there, it was the first time that was a little bit sad.
Yeah.
But we're not too far. Well, we can be back within an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're excited for that. So where does that put us today? Where are we at? What's the schedule look like? What's going to be taking place in the next, say, 30, 60 days?
Next 30, 60 days, we are closing, moving, painting, homeschool co-op starts, and hopefully a visit from my parents if the COVID thing isn't too crazy.
I haven't been able to put up the type of videos that I wanted to. We have been so busy with this house, and I think it's kind of come down to, there were things that we left unfinished that needed to be finished, but there's also things when you start looking at your home and you think about a family coming in to live here, that you want to leave it as nice as you can. There are things that we were able to tolerate and live with, little things that weren't finished or little inconveniences, but when you're looking at, we want to have something that's nice for the folks that will be moving into our home. So yesterday, we were really busy with the basement. The basement's a place where the pantry was, and the canning, and just storage. We didn't spend a lot of time there, but the whole family was down there cleaning and...
Wait a minute.
What?
He says we didn't spend a lot of time there, but that's where the washer and dryer were for years.
I
spent a ton of time in the dirt basement, literal dirt basement. A lot of time.
So
what were you saying about having 4 outbuildings? No.
Is this a good time to lobby for the Man of the Year award after you drop that off?
I'm not complaining about my life at all.
I am ashamed.
I just have to tease. We like to tease.
I am ashamed. Mrs. W had to do laundry in the dirt basement for too long. One of the things, I'm so sore today, I'm almost useless, or so sore after yesterday, is we had to run the dryer vent out through the house to the outside like it's supposed to be. Well, when we had it just in the basement, it's like, it was good enough it worked for us. I had to drill a hole 4 inches in diameter through 16 inches of solid old growth wood with knots in it. You ever done that before?
I apparently have not.
And Jack was down there cleaning cobwebs, and Mrs. W's down there sweeping, but it looks so nice. So we're
Yeah.
not going to be ashamed to turn it over to the new owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? So next 3 weeks or so. So we close.
And harvesting potatoes. We planted so that we could live for a year. I have potatoes coming out of my ears. I mean, there are so many potatoes, and they're delicious, aren't they?
Which is good because we were out at the new place with my sister Corinne and her partner, and the question came up over tacos was if you could only have three foods on a desert island, and that's all you could have, what would that be? What did you choose?
I think we bumped it up to 4, didn't we?
4? Oh, good. I'll take 4.
I think it was avocados.
That's not on my list.
Beef is on my list, big time.
That's on my list.
Probably cream, because you could make butter.
Cream, okay.
Salt or blueberries.
Ooh, salt. Okay. I'd pick the blueberries because you could distill the salt from the sea, right? Mine's easy. I know exactly. Steak, butter, bread, and potatoes. And my drink, beer. How about that? Or water. Water's a given, right? So that's it. Yeah. So we'll be here for another 5 weeks or so, 5 to 6 weeks or so. The house will close in 2 or 3, I guess. We've got to do the painting, want to get all that done before we move in, but then we'll be doing the whole thing.
We are literally buying from an 80-year-old lady, and the fireplace is pink.
Yes, the house, yeah, just a little updating. Not much, but a little paint. Well, actually, this is going to be the first time we move into a house that has been built recently. All of our homes have been turn-of-the-century homes.
Right, and
Yeah.
they have shown it.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain charm. There's a certain charm
And
to
we're
turn-of-the-century
over it.
homes, and if you don't mind, yeah, well, everything's about compromise, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was kind of an update. And as far as the community center goes, so I'll finish with this, is that we have very close to our home a small piece of land that's very beautiful that will give us the ability to build something that will be, again, that dual purpose use. And what we're hoping to have, Mrs. W and I took the family up, was it last weekend or so, up to a high lake and went fishing with the Sweet Loaf and Jack. And on our way back down, we were thinking, how delightful would this be to have these specific events that subscribers could come to. And it's like, we're going to say, well, the fishing is really good, and we're going to plan fishing in April, and we're going to have 10 slots, and you guys could come over with us, and we go fishing for the day, and then have a place where we can all come back to and clean the fish and enjoy one another, and have a place to eat and to hang out. And I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a ton of work. I don't know how it's going to happen, but by God's mercy and help, I think, and help some subscribers as well. Many volunteered that it'll happen.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, one thing that was such a blessing. I don't know if I told you the volume of emails that came through. I've just floated the idea that we're going to be needing to move, and if any of the folks that we have, had been out to our place in the past from our early open houses, if they wouldn't mind moving, I think I received no less than 3,000 emails from you guys offering to help, and even folks offering to drive across the country to do it. So it makes me tear up just thinking about it, how kind that is, and how much we appreciate that. And I thank you. And I wasn't able to get to everyone's emails, and we'll follow up on that. But it makes us feel very appreciated and very loved, and I want to thank everybody for that. It means a lot. Even if I didn't contact you, I read as many as I could, but I wasn't supposed to do that. That's not the right thing. John Wayne would never do that, would he?
He would do it all the time.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. May God bless you and your families, and keep us in your prayers. And we'll see you later. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Got me all upset. Sorry, baby.